Hello everyone, I'm your host Heather Dawson, and it's been a pleasure bringing you the best of California for 10 years on our show. And in honor of our 500th episode, we're taking a look back at our top stories. It's so hard to choose, but after being named Top 50 California YouTube channels by FeedSpot, we decided to let the viewers be the judge from the last decade. So here's our best of social media. For Twitter, based on retweets, the most popular episode features opioid dangers, a profile on Sacramento River cats, Pinot wine, and summer style with the former Laguna Beach star. Now this cute style post on Pinterest has the most impressions, and our most popular Instagram post, well, it's all about Disney. Same with our Facebook share with Audra Stafford. Now let's start off our show with our top spotlight travel story with Wes Parker, who brought us the good life from Palm Springs. Welcome back. Well, joining me now in studio is our Good Life correspondent, Wes Parker, and always a pleasure to have you on set, Wes.
It's a pleasure to see you after so long. My gosh, it's been months and months. I'm out there doing stuff all the time, and finally I get to see you.
That's right, you're living the good life.
Living the good life, the name of the show, or at least my part in it, and I have been doing exactly that.
It is an amazing place, and that's really what our story, The Good Life, is about today, and what Palm Springs is now. So let's take a look.
For the millions of Californians caught up in the daily rat race of city living, there might not be a better place to relax than the desert oasis of Palm Springs. A city known for its warm weather, star-studded history, and high-end resorts and spas. The perfect place to get away from it all.
People tell me when they come to visit Palm Springs from wherever they may live that as they're driving down the I-10 and they see the windmills, it's like this release. They all of a sudden let go of their stress.
Palm Springs offers amenities for anyone looking to relax, from fine dining to lush golf courses and luxury spas.
Many celebrities lived in Palm Springs over the years. Lucille Ball, Bob Hope, Frank Sinatra. Some of the biggest names in Hollywood had homes in Palm Springs.
And that includes the king of rock and roll himself, Elvis Presley. His house is now owned by locals Reno and Laura Fontana, who keep the King's home open to fans looking to get a better look at the life of an icon. Palm Springs' role in Hollywood isn't limited to days gone by. The Palm Springs International Film Festival brings out some of today's biggest movie stars and often serves as a warm-up for the Academy Award. The southern city is by far one of the most convenient locations for Californians looking for a weekend escape. Only a 2-hour drive from downtown LA and a short plane ride from San Francisco, Palm Springs is the ultimate staycation location for those looking for sunshine, warm temperatures as summer draws to an end. When it comes to the good life, Palm Springs is as good as it gets. Come play in Palm Springs. You'll be glad you did. For California Life, I'm Wes Parker.
Oh, it's so beautiful, as you can see right there. I mean, there's no crime, there's no graffiti, there's hardly any traffic. It is clean, clean. And I still go there myself. I've been there to the health spas, I've been there to play golf, I go there to eat, shop, or to just get away, just to relax. And anybody who wants to go there can get there from almost anywhere in California.
And you know, and it's so well known. I know when I was an anchor in Palm Springs, I mean, people in Chicago, people from all over know about Palm Springs, and here it really is in our backyard. It's a great little staycation.
Remember when all the kids used to go there for Easter break?
Oh yeah, spring break, I know. Well, now, you know, families, they have a lot of the, you know, these resorts with the great pools and for families and for golf and a lot of different things. So it was an interesting good life. And thank you so much, Wes. It's always a pleasure to have you on set.
I'm so glad to see you again.
I know. What are you working on next?
We're going to do something down in the San Diego area. It's a surprise.
Oh, all right. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
Well, Disney segments always trend well on our show, and we've covered Disney parks, travel, and movies with Audra Stafford. Here's the most popular behind the scenes at Disney's Beauty and the Beast.
It is nowhere near the ocean or Mickey Mouse, but tucked inside that red and white Canadian Broadcasting Corporation building is a rehearsal studio where all the performers for Disney Cruise Line go to learn the ropes before hitting the high seas. Right now, they're hard at work, putting a fresh twist on a tale as old as time. For the Disney Dreams brand new stage adaptation of Beauty and the Beast, based on the live-action film.
Bonjour, bonjour. There goes the baker with his tray, like full waves. The same old bread and rolls too slow.
We all all saw the concept for that film and thought, oh yeah, absolutely, let's use that as some inspiration to breathe some new life into this.
There she goes, that girl is strange, no question.
That inspiration is reflected in everything from the costumes to the sets to Aaron Ryan's stunning projection design.
It is very daunting. We don't want it to feel like these actors are acting in front of these giant video screens. We want it to really feel like an immersive, beautiful, stylized world.
Oh, isn't this amazing? It's
A
like
world where the enchanted objects truly are enchanting. To get to see these characters come to life in this new, refreshed way is very cool because I can imagine that when they're all finished, they are going to look just like the ones in the new movie version.
If the master finds out you violated his orders and fed her, he will blame me.
It's been really interesting to try to figure out what the vocabulary of these puppets are going to be, right? Because we can't have Lumiere just floating without having to be able to bound or swing off of something else, just like in the movie. So you'll see Lumiere resting on Jeffrey's leg. He swings around all of the poles. It's really neat.
never a surprise.
This tale has been told in 2 hit movies, on Broadway and on tour.
As the sun will rise.
These songs have been running through all of our heads for years and years and years. It's just a total joy to put it all together and to get a chance to reinvent some things and to play with Disney characters we know and love.
Finding you can change, learning you were wrong.
And certain as the sun, this too will be a hit when it premieres on The Dream in November.
Certain as the sun.
It feels like the show is starting to explode out of the rehearsal room walls, and I cannot wait to get it on the ship and see all the pieces come together.
Song as old as rhyme, beauty and the beast.
From Toronto, I'm Audra Stafford for California Life.
And coming up next, we have our most popular video to date over the last decade. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us. We've had celebrities, authors, politicians, entrepreneurs, and everyday people making a difference joining us here in studio. But the interview that trended the best over the last decade is singing sensation Vikki Carr. Our next guest is a 4-time Grammy winner, Vikki Carr, known for her hits in Spanish, country, and pop, including a Lifetime Achievement Grammy. She joins us in studio today to talk about the release of her latest album, Viva la Vida. It's such a pleasure to have you in studio with us.
Oh,
Vikki.
Heather, it's my pleasure, really.
And I love that title. You need to tell me, though, what's the basis of the title?
Well, because of the tremendous success I had in Spanish, and I had not been with a record company, I invested in myself. I wanted to apply what has happened to me in my life, and that is live life through the good, through the bad, through divorce, whatever, disappointments, and to push forward, not let anything keep you back. And especially for those ladies or gentlemen that may be watching that are 65 and older, I just want them to know, hey, life goes on. Go forward with life. Help other people, because in a way, that's what keeps you very, very young.
You tour all the time, you tour all over, and you still have that staying power. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm very happy and very proud. I feel that the body of work that I've done musically, be it Spanish, English, or even country. I was playing you some of my country things that were just re-released again, and I said, that I had done back in '69. But the songs are so great, and when the songs are great, be it in Spanish, English, or country music, they have a staying power. If you're a classic, maybe I can say I'm a classic Carr, but you go on and on, those songs will always live.
They do, and I do think that there's also a resurgence of that. People, when you're very talented and you can go back and do the songs that I think have staying power, and you can do, when you do your concerts, I'm assuming, do you go between all the different songs that you've done, including your new songs?
One of the things that I had wanted to do as a Mexican American, was I wanted to bring us together. I wanted the Anglos here in the United States to know, hey, here's some more of our beautiful music other than Guadalajara, Besa My Smoochie, and all that. Not to say that they're not beautiful songs, but there is so much more.
What is your advice for somebody that's out there that loves music?
The greatest piece of advice that I could give anybody would be to share with you what George Burns told me. We were sitting at Danny Thomas's home, and I don't mean to be a name dropper,
we need
but
to hear it. I love these stories.
You know, and he was smoking his cigar, and of course, I said I was sitting at the same table with God, and I looked at him and I said, Mr. Burns, I said, what advice can I give young people, because they're all asking, how can I get into the business? How can I get into the business? And he took the cigar out of his mouth and he goes, when they ask you how you're going to get into business, they're never going to make it. He says, who did you ask? I said, well, nobody. My advice is, you can't really hear advice from anybody as to how to get into the business. If it's what you really want in your heart, do not, let anybody tell you no. You have to go for it, no matter what it is in a career and what you want to do. You've got to go for it.
Well, it's been such a pleasure, Vikki, and anybody that's interested in your latest album, is it something that they can get online or go to your website?
You can get it on iTunes or on Amazon.com. It was released actually on the 25th, and I was so happy that on that same day they were out of stock and they were sold out. But I'm sure that they've replenished the supply.
Oh, that is definitely a testament to your talent. I mean, how many years in the show business have you been?
53.
53 years, and you're still, that's wonderful. And it's been...
Little Ever-Ready Bunny, she's still going.
It's been such a pleasure, and I am definitely going to come see you on tour. I can't wait. And thank you so much for coming here on California Live.
It's a pleasure.
Technology has always trended well on our show, and electric vehicles used to be a rare sight, but new models are expected to hit the market in coming years, giving consumers more choices than ever. As we learn in this report, advances are making electric vehicles more attractive for the typical motorist. Let's see why.
Pumping gas could be a thing of the past if the makers of electric cars get their way. Newer versions of electric vehicles, or EVs, are about to go farther than ever on a single charge, which makes them more appealing to drivers.
And effectively what you're seeing is the cars they're faster, they're cheaper to operate, and they have the longest range they've ever had.
One of the biggest concerns is powering up the vehicle. That's where a new charging device called a juice box comes into play.
The thing that we want to do, and specifically what my company focuses on, is what we call smart charging. And to do that, what you want is basically to time the charging. You want the charging to happen when the cost is the lowest on the electric grid, and you want the charging to happen when there's the most clean energy on the grid, for instance, solar and wind.
Doing that helps people save money on energy and drives down the cost of operating your emission-free EV. To learn more about smart charging, go to nlx.com.
Whether it's head tension or sleep, everyday stress, or occasional anxiety, more people are turning to essential oils to help.
Essential oils are nothing more than concentrated extracts of plants. We're drawn to them because the sense of smell is very deeply ingrained in an ancient portion of our brain that helps to govern our emotions.
Lindsay Elmore is a world-renowned wellness expert with a background in chemistry and doctorate in pharmacy. When it comes to claims about pure and natural essential oils, she believes we should all pay close attention.
It is a completely unregulated claim. So you have to depend on the values of the company that you are working with in order to ensure that that claim is factual and true. I trust in Young Living's products because of something called the Seed to Seal commitment.
It's a commitment to unmatched quality. Learn more at youngliving.com. Through his design work, Nate Berkus has transformed countless homes around the world. Now the celebrity designer is working to help people with changing vision preserve their independence at home.
I've teamed up with Novartis to do the campaign, which is called My Home in Sight. And it's basically me taking 25 years of my experience in interior design and applying these principles to people with changing vision.
Age-related macular degeneration can deprive people of the ability to perform basic activities.
My grandmother had changing vision. She would ask us, like, what should I do to make this easier? And I didn't have the information at 17 years old that I do now.
Nate says simple changes around a home can make a big impact on safety without sacrificing style.
You need things that help define where things are. You need to keep the home very organized.
Find great design tips and key principles to living with AMD at myhomeinsightkit.com.
Nearly 100 new EV models are expected to be launched in the U.S. between now and 2023. Electric vehicles are on track to dominate global sales of passenger cars and buses by 2040. Well, Coinstar Back to School is getting kids ready for the new school year, and it can be costly and cut into families' finances. Coinstar recently conducted a survey of parents and found that they're stressed about back to school, and many are finding creative ways to cover the cost.
According to a new survey by Coinstar, nearly 3 in 5 parents say back to school stresses them out. And for parents that find themselves stressed, 2/3 say school-related costs are the cause. The majority of parents plan to create a back to school budget, and budget pressures prompting them to come up with creative ways to combat rising school costs. 1/3 of respondents say a crowdfunding platform like GoFundMe or Kickstarter might be a way to help pay for extracurricular school activities or school trips, while 68% say they've packed school lunches to save money. For more than half of parents, the largest anticipated back-to-school expense is clothing, and shopping without kids may curb spending. The survey found that nearly 7 in 10 parents who shop without their children stay on budget. Spare change may be a hidden source of spending power. 57% of parents say they'd consider or are planning on cashing in change to help offset school costs. To learn more or find a Coinstar kiosk location near you, visit Coinstar.com.
For more information, visit Coinstar.com. And finally, before we go, here's the top YouTube video on our channel from 2012, and it's still trending today.
Mirabella Petruzzi and Ava Thurston, they are going to sing Building Stereo by Bob Cameron. Building Stereo by Bill Cameron.
Bedroom stereo, bedroom stereo. I'm up with sunshine. I lace up my time. Ready or not, yeah, show me what you got. I'm on the spotlight. I tell you, come on, follow. I'll sing the melody when you say yeah. I say no when you say stop. All I wanna do is go, go, go. You, the other half of me, the half I'll never be, the half that drives me crazy. You, the better half of me, the half I'll always need. But we both know we're better in stereo. And when we're together, a sweet harmony was so rare. If we could just agree, we would come visually when you say yeah. I say no when you say stop. All I wanna do is go, go, go. You, the other half of me, the half I'll never be, the half that drives me crazy. You, the better half of me, the half I'll always need. But we both know we're better in stereo.
Thank you for going down memory lane with us on our 500th episode and 10 years of California life. I'm your host, Heather Dawson. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and we'll see you next time.
Watch us on our YouTube channel. Stay connected to our social media, where we bring you the best of California.